All right, welcome back. Afternoon Drive live at Drew's house. Hope everybody's doing okay. We get the first show of the week here. Hope everybody's staying healthy through the pandemic. Moving along, some good vaccine news out there and all that good stuff. Hopefully we can keep moving in that direction and numbers keep trending in the right direction. I hope you and your family are all doing well out there. One thing I am sure about in a pandemic where things are not too sure is, well, I'm confused, but I do know that fall sports are starting up here in the middle of the winter at the end of February. I'm joined by the head coach of Newburyport football, Ben Smolski. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing excellent, thank you. So here we go. Fall 2. Looks like it's going to happen. Football at the end of February and playing it into the spring. This is unique. Didn't see this one coming.
Yeah, I mean, we were obviously once fall, when the regular fall season came, we knew it was a possibility, but now we're here and it's reality. So that's a good thing.
I've talked to a few of your guys. I know it was absolutely torture having to go through Thanksgiving with no football game. Even those weeks leading up to Thanksgiving, it just feels like football in the air. There's a certain smell out there to it, right? And to not have football during the usual football season, I know is really tough on you and your team.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, it was tough. We were just keeping our fingers crossed, going day by day and hoping for this day to come. So we're excited now that the past is the past. No reason to be upset right now.
Yeah, what was because this was in doubt for a while, right? I mean, people were saying, hopefully we can get this fall too, but I mean, you didn't know if we're talking to you on the first day of practice here. You didn't know if this day was coming.
Yeah, I mean, when basketball, I guess when it got to basketball, and basketball was consistently being able to make it, didn't really experience much as to shutting down based off of incidents. The confidence started to grow with basketball. Prior to basketball, not knowing if basketball was run, everything was uncertain, as this whole year, it's about a year now, has been. We're very glad to have the opportunity to compete and just to get the kids out there. So it's just a great group of kids, and really this is my first. This is my fourth year coaching, so this is a group I had as freshmen as a first time head coach, and seeing them through their senior year will be very rewarding.
That's right. Year 4 for you already, huh?
Yep.
Flies by, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It really is something to that, isn't there? I hear coaches talk about that all the time, that kind of first group of seniors that you went wire to wire with. There is a little something special about that group, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, whether you're a head coach or an assistant coach, I mean, when I was at Saugus, you always get connected to those guys, especially your first group that I coached freshmen at Saugus when I went back there. And, seeing them, then moving up to them in the varsity level, it's special no matter what. I mean, it's special seeing every class through. I mean, I don't even know how many. I've been coaching since 2003, so it's been a long time. And just I don't know, time flies when you're having fun, because it's a blast coaching football.
Going through this counts as 3 years on the resume, I hear. When you go through a pandemic year, it's an extra 2 years of experience because it's so much crap to go through.
Yeah, no, I definitely have talked to some of the coaches that have gone before, Coach Blue and Coach Clay, and Coach Clay sent out a really nice email to all of the Fall 2 coaches today, just kind of giving us some advice on how to navigate the waters, especially during these times.
That's a classy move. How reliant have you guys been, guys and women, coaches to coaches, because you're all going through it together? I know different programs, different teams, but you are kind of in it together as coaches. You're all striving for the same goal, to play games. What has that been? You've been relying on those other coaches even more than you usually would for advice?
Yeah, I would definitely. I mean, I would more. I mean, I would talk to Coach Blue when it was soccer. Talk to them throughout. It's probably Coach Blue, Coach Clay. They work in the building, so I see them all the time. And, just asking questions and bouncing ideas off of, and I'm sure a lot of other things will come up between Coach Blue, Coach Clay, and Coach Hodgson or Mr. Hodgson. We have a lot of support here.
What has been the contact that you've had with your players? Because, I mean, this is a tough time for kids. And I would imagine, I know you're a player's coach, and I hear you're a tremendously well-liked coach by your players. I can imagine maybe some of them reach out little extra advice to you along the way, or maybe you see something that you just want to talk to a kid about during this pandemic. What has been your level of contact with the kids throughout this whole thing, making sure they're keeping their heads on straight?
I mean, early on in March and April, we would do Google Meet calls, do like a team push-up challenge, Zoom or something like. That's a big thing about in our football program, and most football programs and a lot of athletic programs, is the training, preparing for the season. So that was one thing that was really missed out. I would have meetings with them. I would meet with my captains. We do those challenges early on. I'd always communicate. Coach Bobolon came up with a backpack workout like Rocky style, is because no access to gym. So I would update. After he created that, I would create a new one every 6 weeks and post that on Google Classroom. The Google Classroom has been a great tool, so I've been able to kind of communicate with them, throughout that way. When it comes to, it'd be phone calls, talking to some kids, kind of maintaining contact, having monthly meetings with the captains and just kind of talking to them just about everything in general, not just football, just checking in on them and just kind of, message of, keeping our fingers crossed and, meeting with them when we found out we didn't have football in the fall. And now that we've been in the building, I do see more kids now, and it's been good to see them in the hallways. And, you have a little bit more contact, but there's still quite a few guys who are remote. So it's just going to be great to get out there. Rain, sleet, snow, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just going to be great to be with the kids.
Yeah, you're actually going to get some right off the bat here this week. You had some warm weather out of the gates, so that'll be kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a little wet out there right now, but the younger guys right now are doing great getting through. I was out there earlier with them, passing out equipment, checking out on those guys, and then talking to you.
Well, thank you for the time. You got Coach Ben Smolski, head coach, Newburyport football. They get underway in the fall 2 season. What is the biggest changes for you? I mean, you've grown up in football your whole life. I mean, I'm sure you have football rituals, certain times of the year. Maybe you start doing certain things. You've had to change that up. What's been the biggest adjustment for you?
It's really just, it's always comes down to the organization and the planning. This year, as a teacher and as a coach, the planning has been essential. Like I guess before, it's the amount of time you have to plan. We had time to plan. I'm not talking about like schematically or anything like that. It's more the organization of equipment pickup, the organization of practice. How are we going to set up practice? Where are they going to be located on the field? How do we keep them moving around so they don't get freezing? Like just kind of a different approach, a different way to look at it. It's more of that organization piece and just making sure that we're following those guidelines to be safe. In the amount of time that you have to do it, because the guidelines weren't released till like 2 weeks before the season. So you create multiple plans and then you're like, okay, well then I got to do this. So it's really that organization piece. And that has really been able to develop based off of, the way we're teaching in the hybrid and literally restructuring all of our units so that it fits for online learning and for in-person learning. That has been really helpful going forward. So it's almost like just already used to it, but now applying it to football.
I can already tell the kind of coach that you are, because you mentioned this earlier about how no sense in looking back. I know that you're one of those guys that just always wants to push forward and onto the next play, onto the next game. But I do have to ask, what was it? How excited are you going to be to get, I know you're going to be thrilled for this season. We'll talk more about that in a second, but I just need to know, like, once things get back on track, I'm sure you'll never take for granted another Turkey Day, Thanksgiving Day football game or any of this stuff. Probably didn't anyway, but there's going to be like extra gratitude for all this stuff, right?
Yeah, I just hope as in general, it definitely this past year makes you not take like any of those things for granted, whether it's hanging out with people or, having a football season, which, since I was a little kid, I'd come and watch football all the time with my father and my brother and all the way through as a fan to playing to coaching. It's just, once that's taken away from you, it really makes you think a lot. And I hope that translates to, everyone, the players. Just, I'm only a kid once. I might as well take advantage of all of the opportunities I have at high school, and just enjoying that high school experience to the maximum.
I'm sure you notice it in the classroom and on the football field that in a lot of ways, these kids have had to grow up quick through this, right? Learn how to take some pretty serious adversity.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, they've definitely, the kids have persevered, and, it hasn't been easy for all of us. And, they've persevered. And I mean, those guys that have played sports in the fall, in the winter, they're pros at it now. They're going to have to teach me along the way too.
we talk a little bit about that because I had a few of your football guys on here who were great, by the way. They've represented.
I saw them.
You watched the show? Very good. Yeah. I imagine all the coaches watch just to make sure we won't be running sprints for any comments, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's more kid control. No, but they were great and they represented the school and the team very well. So props to them. But a couple of those guys were on here, and I just thought it was interesting their take on everything. And some of them even went on and played other sports that they normally would not have played. That must have been pretty cool for you to see as a coach. Just let's move on. We'll find something else to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're speaking of Trevor Ward, John Donovan, and Finn. I got to stay. My light, can you still see okay? My light just shut off.
Yeah, sure.
I just have the auto light.
I like mid-interview mood change. I like that. Mid-interview mood change.
That was awesome just to see them try something out. And I just joked with them. I don't remember the last time, probably since like the 50s or the 40s, that we've had a four sport athlete. So
is that part of your message that through all this, I mean, when you're dealing with tough times, I know you're probably always looking for that glass half full. What's the optimistic side? And is part of that going to be, you know what, let's look at this and make the best of it. I mean, we got a story to tell, and this probably, let's hope to goodness this never happens again. This is going to be a season to remember.
Oh, 100%. Our goal is to play 7 football games. I mean, and, we do want to win all 7 football games, but I think it would be just to have the opportunity to play all of those games by following the protocols and just doing the right thing. I mean, and they get to finish their story, like you said, especially those seniors. This is it for them, and it's part of all the other guys' stories, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and it's just part of the program story in general. So we're just gonna hunker down and keep on trucking and just have a great year.
What has been, from your point of view, has it been, because I think everybody kind of immediately feels, especially, even last year's seniors who lost a lot of those sports at the end of the season when the pandemic hit and, in the football season in the fall, I think a lot of the thought immediately goes, oh, the poor seniors. It seems to me that a lot of the seniors I've talked to have been really, and maybe it's just the age difference, senior to freshman, but the seniors have been really good about dealing with this and kind of mature about it. How have the younger, the lower classmen been, the freshmen and the sophomores? You wait, you work, you go through middle school to get to this point, and then you're just kind of halted this progress. Not as easy on those guys either.
Yeah, no, I mean, I teach all freshmen. So, I mean, I've talked with quite a few athletes, and they're kind of just, they're optimistic about it, just like the seniors. I would say to some of the guys, hey guys, you're freshmen. Imagine if it was your senior year, at least you get an opportunity just to kind of give them that perspective as well. I'd say across the board, it is tough on the athletes, but the bottom line is I think they understand the opportunity during these times, and know that it's just great to have the opportunity. I mean, I met with the team on Friday via Google Meet and had our first program meeting, and that was the main message is, you guys all have an opportunity, and that's the main thing here. We have an opportunity for a football season, and just go day by day, second by second, play by play, and just savor every moment.
How important has the senior leadership been through all this? Because I imagine that you're going to want your guys to stay in shape here during what was the actual football season. Let's keep putting the work in. I'm sure it takes some senior leadership to maybe work with some young guys if they have questions that, and even rules-wise, you probably can't even get involved with. So how important is it to have good captains and good seniors?
Very important. We're very fortunate to have a solid senior class. There was 18 strong since freshman year. We're fortunate this year. We actually have about 25, 26 seniors now because we have some soccer players coming out. It's going to be nice. Some of their peers are going to get to join them and play with them. But, those seniors since the beginning have been a very strong group. They've been mentored by some great individuals great teammates along the way as well. And it's really just they're a big part of the culture of our program from where we started and where we've come. They've been along for the ride for the last 4 years, and super excited to work with them.
I didn't even think about that. Now you're going to get the return. You gave up some of your guys to the other sports, and now you're going to grab some athletes from soccer, huh?
Yeah, we got we got a couple soccer players, and then we just have some seniors who want to just try something new. So we got some younger guys too coming out who haven't played. So we're up. We have almost 80 kids, most we've ever had. This is our biggest numbers we've had. Probably, I can't even remember when. 80. That's freshmen through seniors. So we're really excited that the kids are coming out and taking advantage of the opportunity, being to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves and just kind of be a part of our culture. So we're really looking forward to it as a staff, and I know all the kids are too.
80 kids, that's a massive number this day and age for football, for Newburyport football. Does that more than doubles some years, right?
Yeah, I think my 5 years ago we had like 36.
Wow.
So we only had 4 that year. We only had 4 freshmen come out. That was 5 years ago before I took over, and we had about 60, maybe 65 last year. So definitely, it's we're very excited to be able to work with that many kids.
Is the bigger reason the new athletes, or is it just, you think, an urge to just stay active and get active in a pandemic?
It's probably a mix of both. I know. Yeah, it's probably a mix of both. Probably I bet the pandemic plays a big role, and there are some new guys that just want to try. Well, I guess that's the same thing. Yeah, guys that want to try stuff out. So yeah, it's probably that I would say, and we're just excited. I'm sure some of those seniors reached out to him. Hey, got to play football. Come on out. So.
That's fantastic. Well, that's exciting, man. I'm happy to hear that. It's a good opportunity, and it seems like kids are making the best of it. What, as far as I know for a fact that the athletic directors are kind of pulling their hair out. I know yours is it seems unanimously well liked. Kyle Hodson, all the coaches seem to rave about him. Talk about the job of coaches and an AD in a pandemic, because you hinted about it. It's not so much football schematics these days for you. A lot of it is travel, safety, which goes together. It's bus travel, it's practice travel. It's, how do we keep these kids safe in close confines? Talk about how much overtime you're putting in.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, it helps meeting with him and just getting that. It's been very helpful. Plus, I mean, we almost have our entire fields basically, it's almost clear, and that was all through the workers that we have in the building. So thanks to the field workers and stuff like that, it's been very helpful. It is, football is always busy. It's always, you're always putting in the time. It is a 9-week season. It's compacted, but it feels very much like a full regular season with the amount of time that's going in.
Very interesting. And Ben Smolski joining us, head football coach over at Newburyport High School. Newburyport Clippers opening night is?
Either I haven't got the finalized schedule yet. It's either March 12th or March 13th on Saturday. We were supposed to play at Hamilton Wenham, but I believe that they will be coming to us because they have a grass field and they probably won't be ready to go.
Yeah, you got to think about that too. The turf is a big benefit when you're talking about all the snow that's on the ground, right?
100%, definitely.
Another issue with being in the wintertime. But okay, so yeah, I mean, and that's unusual in itself. Usually you'd have that schedule baked away and you're game planning weeks in advance, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had an idea that I actually saw Coach Pugh Coach Pugh's the head coach for Hamilton Wenham at Stop and Shop in Amesbury, and he's like, we're playing you first. I'm like, oh, thank you for letting me know. So once I heard that, I pulled up. We had some film from them last year. We didn't play them, but tagged their film and put it into the scout. Just setting up, just getting prepared. Just since it wasn't set in stone at the time, but it was already put out there. So I ended up just kind of doing the film prep there, just so it was ready. And so yeah, I mean, we still had that time to kind of plot the film and put the data in and start to think about a game plan.
That's great. Thanks for letting me know. That is fantastic. What has been we'll do an end here with a little rapid fire too, because actually, before I do the rapid fire, I know you said you already got your guys out there on the practice field right now. You're about to head out as soon as we're done talking. What's it look like out there right now? These guys excited and thrilled to be out there? You seeing guys with a little extra pep in their step, or what's going on?
No, they definitely. I mean, it's a lot of. They definitely have some pep in the step. It's a learning day too with those sub-varsity. A lot of them. Some guys are coming out for the first time, so they're learning stances, basics, and all that. But they're definitely excited to be out there.
And not worried about. Actually, not too cold today, so they're not worried about any of the weather. Like you said, rain, sleet, or snow. These guys can be ready to go.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. What's been the toughest thing about the pandemic? Real life, whatever. What's been the toughest part for you? Is it going stir crazy or what?
I'd say definitely at the beginning, it was, definitely going stir crazy. Having not, being pulled out of the building, not teaching, your daily routine and everything's just thrown off. That was, the having the kids at home while you're teaching that was pretty fun. 3 and 6 year old. It was, I don't know. It just kind of threw everything off, as things go on. My brother will come over with his nephews. I have a hill in my backyard, so we'll go sledding, distance, all that stuff. My mother and father-in-law watch the kids, so it's kind of, we see them all the time because they're our babysitters, you know what I mean? But it's just trying to figure all that stuff out. So you still see family here and there, but it's, outside, masks on, socially distance, all that. So I just miss seeing my family. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing I missed this year was my Uncle Larry. He's almost 90, my great uncle. He lives on Prince Place by the library. And his house is like 1,000 square feet, and there's like 50 people at a Christmas Eve party. And that's what that's been our tradition since the 70s, since before I was even here. Like my father and my mother would go there. So, that was an hour-long conversation with Uncle Larry about that, because that means a lot to him. He's been doing that. I mean, he's a great guy. And, that was a big thing. The family stuff, definitely. Sorry to drag on there a little bit.
That's fine. You talk with him on Christmas Eve for an hour?
But no, I talked to him before the Christmas Eve party. Yeah. We obviously didn't have the party this year. But I mean, my uncle, he works for the Toomey LeBlanc, I forget the other name, the funeral home on High Street. Yep. He was driving oil trucks at 80 for Lombardi. His best friend was Frank Lombardi. He'd get like he would work for oil. He would deliver kerosene on Saturday for oil. He's just a great guy. I mean, he still works. He's an awesome guy.
Well, we'll make sure we stay strong for next Christmas so we can get back at it for a big Christmas Eve bash. All right?
Yeah, hopefully.
What's been the quarantine savior activity? Has it been Netflix, movie watching, music? What's it been?
Just having quality time with the kids, bike rides with the kids. That literally, it was bike rides every single day with the kids from March until, yeah.
I've been getting a lot of that. I've been getting a lot of bike rides and cooking. That's a popular one. And my last one will be, what has been the Zoom story? I have not heard from one teacher who has had a flawless Zoom, whether it be issues on their part or issues on the kids' part or issues on other factors. What's been the Zoom story that you'll never forget or whatever?
I'm sorry, I don't really have one.
You've been good? Wow.
I mean, you go on and I don't know, like sometimes you go on and you talk to the kids and you tell them 15 times, this is what you're working on, this is what you're working on, and then they don't work on it, and you call them out on it, and then they finally start working on it. It's that communication piece, whether they're having technological issues, stuff like that, but nothing really, nothing crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure it sounds to me like you're a man who will love to be in class full time for the rest of eternity when this is all over.
Definitely. I mean, it's been, I'll tell you what, though, this whole process has made all of us, I believe, better teachers, just, learning to adapt and learning how to deliver the material in a variety of different ways and differentiate the instruction. So it's been a curse, but it's been a blessing.
Was there a moment where like you felt like you maybe got like kind of hit you that, the job is still getting done through the technology? Like maybe so just something you can tell. Teachers know when something hits home, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, and all the sophomores can listen to me. This year's freshmen are better writers than you, and they've been online in the classroom. Like they honestly, we do formal paragraph writing, and they do awesome. They do it. And I think it's the feedback. It's all electronic. I think the feedback's easier to give. They probably couldn't read my chicken scratch when I wrote it on the paper, so now they get it on the computer too. So. Yeah, I mean, I've seen definitely some improvements in the writing, formal paragraph writing.
All right. Well, sophomore, shots fired. There you go.
I'd say it to their face.
Is that the whistle? Do you have the whistle on, Coach? Is that what that is?
Yeah, I just have put the whistle on before. We got permission. We can blow the whistle under our mask, so I have it just to be ready. Yeah.
That is a football coach's look if I've ever seen it. Whistle on for the interview and ready to go.
Yep, right. Definitely. I've been setting up the field since my prep period. So it literally took me an hour to get all the stuff out there because we had it all stored under the stadium, and yeah, we been getting after it since 1:15.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to let you get back out on the practice field. Coach Ben Smolski, thank you so much for taking the time, man. All the best in this fall 2 seasons in Newburyport football and really all the Newburyport sports. It's very cool that you're all making this work, and best of luck during the season.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You have a great night, okay?
Give me one whistle to end the show, will you?
One whistle to end the show?
We've never done that before. Thanks, Coach. We'll see you.
Take care.